Good afternoon, everyone. I am showing up for you on the Sassy Sisters Southern Cooking webpage to cook for you today blueberry cobbler. So a couple of weeks ago, I guess about 2 weeks ago, I did a video with pinto beans and ham, and then I did another video the same day showing how to do cornbread, as well as how to do a peach cobbler. So that peach cobbler video or demonstration is kind of behind the cornbread one. So I thought that I would do another video today just so you could see how to do that, because some other people were saying that they couldn't find it. So we want to make it available for you so you can find it pretty quick and easy. Hey, Susan. So I have for you today here on my counter are my ingredients for making my blueberry cobbler. And in with the peach cobbler, I'm going to kind of repeat a little bit because it still stays the same, is that this is a really great dessert, and it's going to be your go-to dessert for, you know, anytime you have company over, anytime you're craving something warm and like some comfort food, like a dessert, because like today here in Pennsylvania, it is rainy and a little bit cool and damp, and it's a great day to snuggle up with a warm bowl of cobbler and maybe a little scoop of vanilla ice cream. Makes it even better. So today, again, I'm going to show you this recipe, and once you get it down, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I've not done this before, because your guests will be so impressed. They'll think that you like created this huge magical like cobbler, and you'll be like, no, it's just super easy. But if you're like me, you'll let them think that it was all you and that it was magic. So here we go. I'm going to turn my camera around. So I have for you today 1 cup of milk. We're going to be using 1 cup of self-rising flour. And as Susan and I have said before, we really like white lily flour the best because of it's just a more finer grain of a flour. And we just like how it works in our recipes. I'm also going to use 1 cup of sugar. And I'm going to use a half a stick of butter, a little bit of water, and some blueberries. Now in my 2-quart casserole, which is how I make my blueberry cobbler, I have about 2 cups of frozen blueberries in here. And you don't have to let them thaw out. Mine's been sitting here a little bit. They're still kind of frozen. You can see little crystals in there. And there's no need to thaw them out or run hot water over them or anything like that. You can use them as they are. So one of the first things that you're going to want to do for this is you're going to want to add some water to your blueberries. And the water that I'm going to add, and hopefully through the side of my glass dish, you're going to be able to see, you want to add just enough water to reach to the top of those blueberries. This is just going to give you a little bit of juice in there to not make it like a dry cobbler. If you're anything like me, I like the sweet bread in the cobbler, and I also like having like a little bit of juiciness to it. So when you cut into that bread on the top of your crust, it's going to soak up and sop up that juice really good. Hey, Eileen, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. So, hey, Brittany, I love you, sweetie. So here, as you can see, I've added about a cup of water, a cup to a cup and a half. So it just depends upon how many blueberries. There's no exact science here. So you're going to add your water here, just enough to reach to the top of your fruit. So the next step is going to be, I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to open my flour here. And I am going to, Susan, Rebecca, and Katie are asking what time we're videoing. You can let them know right now. So I am going to add in a cup of flour. So I'm going to turn my video camera back around here for just a second. So with this, you're going to add 1 cup of flour, self-rising flour, 1 cup of sugar, and you're going to mix that together just until it's blended. And once it's blended well, you're going to add in your 1 cup of milk. So here I go. I'm gonna set my phone down over here so I've got both of my hands. And so I've got my scooper. I like to use a 1/2 cup scooper. It's just easier for me to scoop and measure with. So I'm going to measure my flour, and I'm gonna measure my flour here and kind of scrape it off. So here, that's a 1/2 cup. And then I'll add one more. And I'll level that off. And I've got about another 1/2 cup here of flour. And that's all that you need. And so I'm gonna put my lid back on that. Come on, lid. And then the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a cup of sugar. I'm gonna turn my camera here just a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna add in 1 cup of sugar. So I'm gonna add 2 of these, just like this. And I'm gonna put it over here in my bowl. And I've got a glass bowl for you, so here hopefully you can see it. And I'm gonna add 1 and 2 here. All right, so that's all that you need. So now I'm gonna tilt this back up. Okay, so now all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stir it. I hope you can see my bowl here just a little bit, because I'm just kind of stirring in my flour and my sugar. You just kind of mix it together. There's gonna be some lumps, that's to be expected. It's not gonna be completely smooth. Think about kind of like pancake batter in a way. You always have lumps in pancake batter. You're gonna have some lumps in this as well. So I've got that mixed in really well. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my cup of milk. Now, if you like a little bit more crust in your cobbler, you can add maybe 2 cups of flour and a 1.5 cups of milk if you want to, and add a little bit more dough to it. That's always an option. I just use, my mom always told me, it's a cup, and a cup. So a cup of milk, a cup of flour, a cup of sugar. And that's just always how I remember it. A cup, a cup, a cup. So I'm gonna pour my milk in there, and I'm gonna stir this up. And you're not gonna like over stir it. You just wanna stir it enough to where you're getting it all mixed in. Hey Sherelle, how are you? You and that new baby. I hope you guys are doing great. He is beautiful, by the way. So is Cammie. She is gorgeous. So I'm glad that y'all are doing well. So it's, thank you for tuning in. Who else has tuned in? I can't see from here. But anyway, thank you for everybody who's tuned in anyway. So I'm gonna stir this, and you can see that there's some lumps in this. You see it's lumpy. And so I'm just gonna try to get a few of those lumps out, just a little bit, but not too much. I just wanna make sure all my flour in the bottom is mixed in real good, that there's no dry flour down there in the bottom anywhere. And the next thing I'm gonna do, and you can see this is pretty runny. It's not super thick, see? Okay, it's pretty runny. It's not gonna be thick like pancake batter. It's not supposed to be. But what's gonna happen is something magical. And this is where the magic happens, people. You have your self-rising flour. Now, note, self-rising flour. And your cup of sugar. You're gonna take this lovely liquid, lumpy liquid, doesn't look like a whole bunch right now. You're gonna pour it over your blueberries or your fruit. You can use peaches. I use canned peaches and drain the water off of them or the syrup and rinse them really good, and then just add enough water back because I feel like that syrup makes it too sweet. So I like to do it that way. But you can use peaches, you can use blueberries. I have used strawberries, but I kind of feel like strawberries are a little tart for me in a cobbler form, but my favorite are blueberry and peach. So here we go. Look down here. So here's my bowl. I'm gonna pull my 2-quart casserole dish right here where my blueberries are. I'm gonna try to pull this closer so I can make sure that you can see it. There's my blueberries. So I'm gonna take this baby and I am just gonna pour it all over, just like that. And I'm gonna scrape it. I am gonna scrape it just like so. And then what I'm gonna do, and I don't have a knife, I'm gonna take about a half a stick of butter, and I'm gonna cut little tabs here, just like this, and I'm just gonna put right on the top. Just a few around the top, and that butter is gonna melt in there as this thing starts to cook. And it's gonna give that crust, when it starts to rise, that crust is gonna rise up to the top, and that self-rising flour is gonna do its thing. It's gonna do its thing, and you are gonna have a beautiful, golden, luscious top to your cobbler, because that flour in there is gonna rise up and it's gonna create a crust. And I'll tell you a little story about this cobbler that my mother-in-law was watching, because she was there that day. She was there that day. My husband's Aunt Michelle had fresh blueberries when she lived at her house in Georgia. And she came over to our house in Georgia when we lived there, and the whole family was there. Michelle was there, Grandma Mills was there, Pat's mom Eileen was there. We were all there, and the guys, I don't know where the guys were, they were doing something, who knows. But us ladies were sitting around the table, and Michelle had brought these blueberries, and they were fresh, and I said, I know what I'm gonna do with these. I'm gonna make a cobbler. And they went, Grandma Mills looked at me, and she said, it's gonna take you all day. I said, no it won't, just watch this. So I started doing this whole process. I took that and mixed it up, and all these ladies sitting around the table, and I was kind of over on the other side of my open kitchen, right? And I was mixing it all up, and I go and pour that, and she went, oh, you just ruined those blueberries. You just ruined them. I went, no, I didn't. It's magic. Just watch. And I put it in the oven, and it came out, and she looked at me, and she ate that cobbler, and she goes, this is the best cobbler I've ever had in my whole life. And I was like, it's magic, Grandma. It's magic. So, and it was so good. And all of us ladies sat there around that afternoon and ate everybody that cobbler, and we didn't give the men any. We didn't save them a bite because we ate it all. So anyway, that's what this cobbler does. It really surprises people. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it, my oven is preheated to 350. Pat can come over here. He's gonna hold my camera for me for a second because I'm gonna carry it over here. I'm gonna open the door to my lovely oven here. And I'm gonna put it in my 350-degree oven, just like that. And it is going to cook for about 45 minutes. And till that top is kind of mounded and bubbly, and you'll see the juices come around the side and it'll be all bubbly and thick. And then you'll have the butter all melty, and you'll know then that, oh, it's done. About 45 minutes to an hour at 350. I will be posting this video on Facebook Live. Of course, it'll be there. It will also be on our new YouTube channel. You guys, if you've not subscribed, please go on and subscribe to our new YouTube channel, where all of our videos are there too. And I will also be posting the recipe. But it's easy to remember: a cup, and a cup. Happy cooking, everybody. Bye-bye.